Bonjour, hello and welcome to this beer review. You join me once again from the conservatory. There is no more doom in this conservatory, folks. We're going to be moving. We won't be here hopefully for too much longer. It will be the conservatory of goodbye, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, we're here to do a beer review. Now, what I've done is I've previously poured out this beer. As you can see, I've got this sort of big jug decantery type thing here. It's fairly clear, it's not too bad, is it? You can see me kind of through it. It's decent enough colour, and there's a little bit of a head on the top there. The reason I did that is because I had a litre bottle, folks, in the Shed of Doom, and it's always a good idea to decant bottles that are going to be bigger than 500 mLs before you stick it into a pint glass. Why is that, right? Well, I'll tell you. That way, if you pour everything into a decanter first, you keep all the sediment at the bottom of the bottle, you see. Otherwise, if you just pour some of it into your glass and then you go in and you pour some more afterwards, the sediment is gonna move and you're gonna end up with some sediment in your beer, and you know, we don't want that in our beers, folks, do we? I'd rather have a beer with no sediment, and that's what I've got. So let's give it a pour. Here we go. I'll be a little bit generous with me pouring. There's going to be a little bit of a head on that, and I'm just going to sit that down for a second while I tell you about what's gone into this particular beer. I've written it down, so forgive me if I look down here because I can't always remember what I've put into my beers. So this one has got Cascade and Nelson Sauvin in. Again, it's an extract beer. What I did is I put 35 grams of Cascade and 20 grams of Nelson Sauvin on the boil with malt extract for about 45 minutes. And at 15 minutes, towards the end of the boil, I put on another 10 grams of Nelson Sauvin, and then at the end of the boil, while it was resting, I stuck in another 20 grams of Nelson Sauvin, I think, and I just let it steep until it cooled in a big pot. I've got a 7 litre pot. Maybe it might even be bigger than that. It's probably about 10 litres, but I tend to do about 7 litres on the stove. And I put the pot in the sink with some cold water and some ice to cool down. And during that time, I just let those hops, you know, sink and steep and infuse, hopefully infuse the extract a little bit. And it's given us the flavour that we've got. Now, why did I choose Nelson Sauvin, and why did I choose Cascade, folks? Well, those that know me and those that have followed me for quite a while will know that Cascade is one of my favourite hops. It gives a really nice sort of citrusy note to any beer, folks. A good beer is a good beer with Cascade in. You can salvage a beer with Cascade, honestly, folks. You can't make a bad beer with Cascade. Really nice hop. And it goes very well with Nelson Sauvin, because Nelson Sauvin has got like a gooseberry grapefruit kind of tone to it, and the Cascade has got like a citrusy grapefruit tone to it. So essentially, by putting the two in together, you're going to end up with a slightly bitter grapefruit note, hopefully with some gooseberry in there, and also a little bit of citrus from the Cascade. All right. I did end up putting in more Nelson Sauvin than I did Cascade, but it's all right. You know, we do these things for a reason, folks. We like testing these things out. You know what I mean? So anyway, you forgive my hair, folks, because I've been pottering around the house today. I'll just put this down for a second. I've been pottering around the house today. I've had my headphones on, as I am one to do, and I've got wireless headphones as I sit in front of the computer. As those that join the weekly broadcast will know, I'll potter around the house in my wireless headphones so I can hear what's playing so that if I need to go to the loo or have a bit of a break or something, I can come back. I know when the song's ending, and you know, I've only got a couple of minutes left or whatever, so I know when I can come back. So today I've been out into the conservatory and I've done this week's Homebrew Wednesday video. I've gone into the lounge and I've put my headphones on, and as you can see, it changes the shape of my hair, folks. It's a bit of a bloody mess and I can't be bothered to sort it out, so you'll have to put up with me as you find me. All right, now what I've got here is an Adnams glass. Now I know not everybody likes Adnams beers, but it's the glass that I used because I opened the cupboard and it was there. So it's the one we're gonna test this particular beer from. That is a lovely colour, isn't it? A lovely colour for a beer, a sort of a light, sort of pale ale colour. It's not very, very light, but it's light enough. It's a very slight, yeah, I mean, it's not, there's a very slight cloud. I was going to say there's a very slight cloudiness in there, but I think I'm being too harsh on myself there. I think that's perfect. It's a sort of pale ale colour, what we would expect. And also there's a really decent head on there. Again, what we would expect. Now, what I put into this was 500 grams of wheat malt, along with maybe 1.5 kilos, maybe a little bit more of malt extract, maybe 2 kilos. I'll need to check the recipe on that. But the bulk of it is your normal bog standard light malt extract with some wheat malt in there to help with the head retention. And also I threw in some crystal, about 250 grams of crystal malt, because I had it lying around, and it also infuses a little bit of caramel flavour, a little bit of sweetness to the end product. So here it is. Looking good, folks. Let's dive in, as we are one to do. Cheers to you. Now, as I said earlier, I'll be expecting a sort of a grapefruity bitterness there, and a little bit of citrus from the Cascade, and that's what I'm getting. It completely matches up with my expectations of what I was going to get from this particular beer. The reason it's matching up is because I've done a few of these before. I've done quite a lot of beers with Cascade. I've done quite a lot of beers with Nelson Sauvin, and I've done a few beers with them both in. So once you do a few beers with hop additions, you get to know what hops mix well with other hops. Cascade goes well with Nelson Sauvin. I probably, if I'm going to do it again, and this is, you know, I'm not dissing this beer at all, it's really refreshing. If I'm going to do it again, I'll probably dry hop with some Cascade, just to give a little bit more of a citrusy note on the smell. However, as it is, folks, perfectly decent beer. Out of 10, I'd say it is a perfect example of what I was aiming for. I hit everything spot on, and it's a really nice beer. At the moment, it's my house beer. In other words, this is my go-to beer because it just hits everything on the spot, and it's very quaffable. You can drink quite a few of them without falling over, and they're easily drinkable. Anything with Cascade in, folks, you can't go wrong really. And the Nelson Sauvin also helps provide some of that sort of gooseberry flavour to the beer, and that's quite nice too. So yeah, if you want to give it a go, folks, let me know, contact me, and I'll stick the recipe either on here or maybe on Facebook somewhere, and yeah, you can have a little bit of a look yourself. So cheers for this. I've still got some left. I'm going to be drinking this over the course of the rest of today, and between now and the next Homebrew Wednesday video, I'll probably do a couple more, just to give you an idea as to the sort of beers I've been brewing lately. But in the meantime, ciao for now, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ta-da!